Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Queen of the Board, and today I'm playing Dice Throne Missions X-Men, and I'm working my way through all of the characters. So we're going to be playing with Psylocke up against Mook. This is the mission run first scenario, so it's me against the henchmen. Come and join me. So just a quick reminder, this definitely is not a rules teach video. I'm going to be making mistakes. So please turn on the Klingon captions and let me know in the comments if I miss anything. Cosmic Clash is a difficulty 4 mission. Let's have a look at the mission run. Doctor Strange has sensed that all of Earth is in grave danger. Though the future is unclear, he knows the global threat emanates from the AIM Superscience Research Center. Get inside and find out what is happening. So the goal for this scenario is to open all of the research bay doors. So if I end my movement phase adjacent to one of the door control panels, which are here, 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 or here, I'll be placing a clear tile over them and that will open one of the doors. Now I can't move over them once I've placed that, so I need to think about my movement. When all 4 door controls have been opened, the mission is complete. Let's take a look at our henchmen today. We have Green, the Chem team, 10 health, 2 shields, multi-strike and range. A cryo team with 12 health and 3 shields because they're wearing all this gear. Grav Ops, 14 health, 3 shields. And our unstoppable threat is a warp field. All of these are multi-strike with range. This gives entangle, knockdown. It's all pretty miserable, to be honest. So let's see if I survive. I've got my allies out here. Wasp, Hawkeye and Professor X are available to me. Now let's have a look at Psylocke. I choose to stand between the world and those who threaten it. I'm loving the art on this one. She has a manifest passive ability, and she actually comes with an additional manifest dice, which is right here. During my first roll attempt, I'll be rolling this additional die and then placing it out here. It can either be used to increase my attack damage by half the value, rounded up, or I can replace a die that I've rolled with it. So it might help me get some of the combos that I'm looking for. One thing to note is that die can't be altered in any way other than by cards that specifically talk about the manifest die. So the other cards aren't going to help me. Psylocke has 3 other types of tokens. We've got Paralyze, which is a negative status effect with a stack limit of 1. Now remember, I can choose to gain a momentum instead of applying a negative status token to an enemy during missions. She also has Agility. That has a stack limit of 2. That will help me to avoid damage. Infiltration has a stack limit of 2, and these tokens allow me to adjust my defense by re-rolling the die. Now, ordinarily, I would be starting with a health of 45 playing solo, but thanks to my player perks, I got a boost of 5, so I start with 50. I've got my regular 2 starting combat points, and I get to start with 3 momentum instead of 0, again, thanks to the perks. Perks aren't specific to your hero, they are personal to the player and they carry on through games. So the more you play, the more boosts you get and the more difficult challenges you can face. So I think we're ready to go. I start with my movements. I'm playing with the standee and laying her flat so that you can see it more easily on the board. I wish I had the miniatures. I don't. I know there was some back and forth. Some folks liked them, some folks didn't, but hey. My entry point is in the north, and I think, first of all, I want to try and come down and stand next to here, so I need to take this guy out first. So I think I'm going to be brave and land between these 2 guys. I get my +1 token. Now, unfortunately, on my first turn, I don't get an income phase, but I do get 4 cards to start with. Let's see what I find. transference, triple up, get that out of here, and construct. Little reminder to myself, my maximum hand limit is 6, and I should discard at the end of the first hero main phase. We're okay at the moment, but I'm sure I'll forget that during the game. I hope not. So I'm ready to attack. I'm including my manifest die. Let's see what we find. I got a 6 with the manifest die. That's pretty cool. 2 5s, a 1, 2, 4, 5, 5, 6. Oh, can you imagine if I could get a 3? So I'm going to re-roll these 2. There's my other 6. Really want a 3 though. Oh, there it is. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I am going to replace. Oh no, I don't need to do that. I can pop this on my board and keep this one, in fact. So I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a large straight. So I get to inflict paralyze, and I am going to place it on this henchman. I think you're allowed to choose to do this if you want to, because this isn't affecting his role. It's going to stop him giving me a negative status effect, and he does have inflict poison if triggered. Now I get to deal 8 damage. He's got the shield, so we'll remove these for 6. Then 2 more damage applied, but I'm going to use this to increase my attack damage by half the roll value. So that's another 3. That's 5 damage total out of the 10, leaving him with a health of 5. It's my second main phase. And you know what? I'm going to spend 2 of my momentum points, taking me down to 1, to recruit Wasp. And here she is. I'm wishing I'd recruited her at the start because she does have an offensive kicker to add a damage, but oh well, lesson learned. And that's my phase complete. Let's see what the bad guys are gonna do. So we check the chem team does not trigger, the cryo team does not trigger. However, the grav ops team will trigger. It is a multi-strike with range. It's going to inflict knockdown and deal 5 damage to me. Let's have a look where they are. We've got 1 here. So I can defend against this because I am adjacent to him. As I understand the rules, it simply says if you're adjacent, you don't need momentum to defend. So we'll start with this guy, and I'm going to do my defensive roll, which is a roll of 3. And that didn't help me at all, unfortunately. So I'm going to take the 5 damage. I get down to 45. And I get a knockdown. So I'm going to have the choice to either spend 2 CP or have to skip my offensive roll phase. That's really nasty. Now he is, from what I can see, the only grav ops on the board. Next, the warp field will trigger because we did get a 6. This is an unstoppable, undefendable, multi-strike range. And so I'm dealing 2 undefendable damage and 1 extra damage for each negative status effect token, of which I have 1. This means I'm taking 3 more damage. So I'm down to 42 health. Next main phase, I am going to spend 1 CP, get that out of here. As it is main phase, this will just be a cheaper way for me to get rid of that horrible knockdown token. Next, we move to the crisis clock, moving up to the grav ops henchman. This is going to be deal 5 collateral damage to each hero afflicted with knockdown. I just got rid of it. Then inflict knockdown on all heroes. Okay, well, I dodged the damage, but it's coming straight back. Boom. Oh boy. Back over to me, and it is my movement. And I've decided to stay put because I really want to deal with this guy here. Next, we do income. So I'm going to gain 1 CP going up to 2 and 1 card. Ooh, we find an upgrade. Parry, this would cost me 2 CP. However, I want to save my CP to deal with this knockdown, so I still get an offensive roll. I think we'll just go straight into it. Again, rolling my manifest die. 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. So I have a small straight, and I'm actually just going to stick with that. So that will kill this guy off. I get to replace him with that token and move up to 3 momentum. Oh, I forgot I was spending my combat points to clear my knockdown token. Next, it's over to the henchmen. 2 5s and a 1 and a 3. So we don't trigger the chem team. We do trigger the cryo team henchmen. And again, they have range. There are actually a couple of these on the board. There are 2 of them. The first thing that happens is I will get an entangle token. This has a stack limit of 1, and it's going to remove one of my reroll attempts during my next attack phase, then remove itself. So a little unpleasant, but not too bad. Then dealing 4 defendable damage. However, I'm not adjacent and I would have to spend momentum to defend against it. I'm honestly not that great with defense at the moment. So I think I'm just going to take the damage and be brave. So that's actually 8 damage, bringing me down to 34. Psylocke doesn't really have any heal ability, so I hope she can out-survive these guys. Next, we move the crisis clock, and this is a blank space, thank goodness, so nothing too bad happening here. Next is my movement, so I will jump onto this now cleared space, and I'm ending my movement turn adjacent to this. So I get to pop a clear tile out, and that is the first of 4 doors open. It is the upkeep phase, so I'm gaining 1 CP, drawing a card. I find 1 more time. Next is my attack. Now I'm not adjacent, so I'm going to have to pay 1 momentum for range. And I'm going to attack this guy right here because I want to travel around this route. He has 9 shields, however, and 12 health. So let's see how we do. Oh, now I get, that's not bad. Look at that. So my manifest die with a 6. I've got 2 6s here. I think we should go for the 6s. Let's try and get some undefendable damage to pass through those shields. We got 1 more 6. And I'm realizing that I'm entangled. So I have to stop there unless I use a card. So we're going to stick with Blade Dance. Using my manifest die, that gives me the 4 6s. I gain agility and infiltration. I do get to lose my entangled. Deal 6 undefendable damage. Now we've got an offense kicker. This is an attack modifier of 1. So it's going to be the same type of the damage as the original. So that gets me up to 7 undefendable damage. The blue guy has 12 health. So he's going to be left with 5 health. Over to the henchman. Oh boy. Okay, well the chem team activates, nobody else does. Luckily, I did manage to take one of these guys out. So it's a multi-strike with range, inflicting poison and dealing 3 defendable damage. We do have this one guy and one guy over here. Ooh. So I'm getting poisoned twice, 1 from each guy. There's a stack limit of 3. It's persistent, and it's going to do a damage for each upkeep phase. I don't want to spend the momentum, so I am going to take the 3 plus 3 damage. That's 6, getting me down to 28. Next is the crisis clock going to green. I'm getting a burn. Burns inflict 2 damage during the upkeep phase and are also persistent. Oh my goodness. And I'm taking 1 collateral damage from each chem team that's alive, so that takes me down to 26. We can do this, we can survive. Come on, Psylocke. All right, next, I have my movement. And I want to come and stand right here, honestly, but I want the CP. So I think I'm going to run around and land, first of all, on this CP token right here. So I gain a combat point, taking that out. Now it's the upkeep phase. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, taking me down to 22. Oh, these are horrible tokens. Over to, well, it's still the upkeep phase. I get a combat point and I get to draw a card. Ooh, getting paid. This is great. I'm going to spend it right away and gain 2 CP. That gets me up to 5 CP. So the first thing I'm going to play is transference. I get to transfer 1 status effect token from 1 player to another. I think this is allowed in the rules, but I'm going to spend my 2 CP, taking me down to 3. I'm going to take my burn token and I'm going to lob it across the room. And I think we're going to put it on this green guy right here. So he is now on fire in the corner. Hopefully by the time I get there, he will have burnt to a crisp. The next thing I'm going to do is spend 2 more CP as I'm feeling flush and put out my parry. So this means I get an extra agility. It's my attack, and so I'm going to go after this guy in blue again, rolling my manifest die. I got a 6 for the manifest, 3 2s, a 4, and a 5. I'm going to re-roll this 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a small straight. Yeah, we'll go for the small straight. So I'm gaining another infiltration that helps me with defense, has a stack limit of 2. I'm dealing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So a little overkill there. I wish I had an attack for multiple people. He's got 14 total going on here. So I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if I choose to use it, but I would need 14 to finish him off, defendable. So instead what I'm going to do is actually discard Wasp for her exhaust. I gain a shield and my attack becomes undefendable as a modifier. So she is out and now I have my 6, 7, 8, 9, all undefendable. So he is out. I gain 2 momentum. And I'm going to spend 1 of those momentum right now to grab Kitty Pryde. Here she is. So I immediately gain a 2nd shield. I'm going to pop those 2 up here. And she may help me with my defensive rolls. Over to the henchmen. Gosh, we're going to trigger the chem team again. So again, multi-strike and range, we still have 2 of them going. They're going to inflict poison on me. And poison has a stack limit, believe it or not, of 3. So that one is coming in. They're going to be dealing 3 damage each. And it is defendable, so I'm just going to use my shields to protect myself. Then we move the crisis clock. And I actually lose a CP on this one, but not too bad. It's my movement and I'm going to take a bit of a strange route. I'm actually going to come around through this gap I've created and land here to gain those 6 health points. I think it's worth it. So I go up to 28. It's the upkeep phase, so I'm gaining 1 CP. I'm drawing a card. I find an attack modifier, barrage. And I have to deal with all of the poison. So 1, 2, 3. Again, it's persistent. So I'm going back down to 25. But the fire is still burning in the back corner. So this guy at the back, this green guy, is going to take 2 undefendable damage. That's going to bring him down to 8 health. And next up, I'm going to attack. I'm adding range using my momentum. So we're rolling, including the manifest die. I find a 3. I got 2 6s. A 3, a 3, and a 5. I'm going to re-roll these 2. So I'm going to play devise. I have a white, an orange, a green, and a black. I deal 3 undefendable damage. And I'm going to spend the attack modifier. Again, I believe that increases by 1 the same type of damage. So that would get me to 4 undefendable damage, bringing him down to 4 health. Let me know in the comments if you think that's the right ruling or not. I couldn't find it very clearly in the rule book. Over to the henchman. Now, looking at the dice that the henchman rolled, I'm actually going to spend one of my infiltration tokens. It does say to do this during your defensive roll phase, but it means that I can re-roll this 6 and try and avoid the unstoppable threat. Okay, so this doesn't affect anything else. And in fact, yes, I managed to avoid the unstoppable threat. That's fantastic. Next, we move the crisis clock, and it's going to trigger this one last henchman again. He's going to deal 3 collateral damage to all heroes and inflict wither if I have burn. But luckily, I don't have any burn right now. This guy over here does. So it's just 3 collateral damage.